you doing this week? Okay.
What day is it?
Oh, man. You know what? This week felt so long.
I think it was Thursday forever.
It did feel like Thursday forever.
It was like 4 days was Thursday.
I woke up on actual Thursday and I was like, how is it only actual Thursday right now? I just woke up angry that it was Thursday. It doesn't make any sense because I'm not particularly like, mad at my job or anything. I'm not like, oh, can't wait to get out of here. Got to slide down Wednesday into the weekend. But like usually the week goes by really fast, right? Like, most of the time, most weeks, I'm like, how is it already Friday? Right? But I woke up on Thursday and I was just like, what the F? What in the hell is going on?
Yeah.
How many Thursdays are there this week?
That's what I'm saying.
And even this weekend has felt kind of slow, right?
Yeah, kind of. Except for today went by like whoosh.
Yeah. We didn't record on Friday as we normally do because it's been a rough week and I don't think either one of us.
We were not prepared.
Yeah, I don't think either one of us were really into it, right? Like, so we're recording on Sunday evening, which is different. But like this weekend is like normally the weekend goes zip by, see ya, and I'm like, what? No.
You're like, it's already 4:00.
But I was really productive this weekend, and I did a lot of stuff. I should have the hours should have just like zipped away, but I've just felt like the whole week was really slow, and I don't like when time goes slow necessarily when I'm doing stuff. I'd like it to go slow when I'm sleeping. But when I'm doing stuff, I like the idea that when you're having fun or you're doing things, time kind of zips by and you go, oh man, how's it 4:00 already?
Yeah.
So, and I look at my job and like my side projects and stuff as fun, right? So yeah, it's a weird week, very weird week.
And you know that feeling, you know that feeling when you're like, okay, once this weekend hits, I'm gonna do this and this and this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
And then here you are at 9:00 Sunday night and you're like, I haven't done any of that.
You're looking at your list and nothing's crossed off. You're like, son of a bitch.
Like none of that's been accomplished.
Yeah.
That's not fun. I don't like that one either.
I think you've had a rough week too because little miss is going through a transition and she's not sleeping well.
Which means I'm not sleeping well.
Which means you're not sleeping well because she will not allow anyone else to accompany her to her bedroom and help her fall back asleep.
And like the really devastating thing is that as soon as I leave the room, she just starts screaming at whoever's available about anything and about something. And then I have to go and clean up that whole situation. I have to figure it out. I have to solve her problem or not, or put her on a timeout or not. It's always like every time I turn around, either she's right behind me, following me everywhere I go, which I don't know, it's kind of annoying, or she's just on a rampage to everyone. And I'm like, just go upstairs. Just everyone, just leave her alone, please.
Yeah. She's at that age where she can talk and she has a extremely good vocabulary and, she doesn't talk like a baby or like a child that you would think, right? She has a lot of grown up lucidity, right? But she also is a child.
Yeah.
So when it's like something that she doesn't want to hear, she kind of reverts to like child behavior, right? And so like she'll do something wrong and I'll be like, hey, knock it off. Don't do that, please. And it isn't like, oh, sorry, you're right, I should be more careful. It's like, it's why should I do that? Where's mommy? Mommy needs to tell me that. You can't tell me anything. Don't talk to me or look at me. Right? And so that's where you are. That's where it happens.
Yeah.
And, today I told her she needed to go on a timeout because I'm like, we need to nip this in the bud. Right? I said, you got to go on a timeout. You got to go sit in the corner. And she goes, no, I need my babies and I need my mommy and I can't. And I'm like, you don't get those things when you're being punished. And then she like started like shielding her eyes with her little hand, and she moved like 20 feet away from me. And I was like, what are you doing? Go on the timeout. No.
And I was outside with the dog, and all I could hear is just screaming.
She gets very loud and high pitched when she's not getting her way.
Like all I could hear was just her like blood curdling screaming at someone. I'm like, man.
I wouldn't call them tantrums necessarily, but they do
outbursts.
They are outbursts. She does get
it's
to
quick,
that,
but it's kind of terrible. Makes you feel like crap.
Yeah, I mean,
I need some help with girl stuff. I just don't.
Yeah, is this a girl thing? I remember the boys being a little bit like this when they were around her age, like kind of, they're starting to separate and realize they're their own person, and so they're pushing it. Yeah. They're seeing how far can I push this.
Yeah.
But they also seemed to me, in my memory, granted it was a long time ago, to be a little bit more reasonable if you were to talk to them like an adult and say, hey, we can't, this is not how we can behave. I need you to sit down and think about this and have a timeout. With her, it's just like we don't even get to the timeout.
Yeah. I remember it as they would do something kind of naughty, or they would get out of hand, and I would go, nope, no, we're not doing that. Yeah. Calm down. And they would just be pouty, right? For just a minute or two. And then they would come to me, and then I'd have them say they were sorry and stuff like that. Or they would go on a timeout. And when they were done with the timeout, they would say their apology. She skips the pouty. It goes right into just screaming for what she wants.
She's constantly sitting in the pilot seat of a rocket.
Yeah, and
in which she is prepared to launch at any moment.
I don't want to think that it's a girl/boy thing. I just think that maybe she's got some sort of temper situation going on. But I don't know anyone who's raised girls at all. I mean,
nobody that you feel comfortable saying, hey, what do you think about this?
I don't have friends who are like raising kids and stuff now.
Right.
But like, it's getting on me.
I do wonder though. I do wonder if our memories are bad.
No.
And if we're just getting a little bit too old for this shit, Riggs.
We are definitely too old for this.
Right. You know what I mean? Like not necessarily that she's objectively worse than the boys were at 5. No. But that maybe we just don't have the same tolerance level for the shenanigans.
I could have sworn to myself that I've been through 3 boys. One little girl is not going to do that much damage to me.
Right, but she's like a Tasmanian devil versus 3 Bugs Bunnies.
Yeah. And it's not, it's not all the time. It's not all the time.
No, she's not like that all the time.
Every once in a while, and if she didn't sleep good the night before, then you're screwed the next day. Don't even try to like reason with her because she will scream at you.
Yeah, and she won't take naps at all.
No, she's 5. Our kids stopped napping at 2, and I'm not going to push it.
No, they stopped taking official naps, but they would fall asleep during the day sometimes.
Yeah.
She's never done that.
No.
We can barely get her to go to sleep at night. It's like she just wants to be, she's like a little Elon Musk, and she's like, I've got to invent more things. And you're like, calm down. Okay.
At this point, I'm just trying to follow my gut.
I should correct that. Elon Musk hasn't invented anything.
I didn't know that. I don't know that reference, so.
He's the CEO.
I know who he is. I just don't know what the hell he's done. I don't care.
Nothing. Like 0 things. Well, no, he was very good at buying things that then became successful and then, taking over.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
He's like an Edison. He's like a modern day Edison, which is interesting that he named his car company Tesla. He's also a billionaire.
Ugh. I'm trying to pick my battles.
Yeah.
But just sometimes what are you talking about? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And I have to put on her timeout, and
you have an incredible amount of patience with her. I don't have the same amount of patience just because like I want her to understand that there's a line and she should not be doing that behavior. But she doesn't seem to want to listen to me at all.
And it's not like,
So I just go, well, okay, fine.
Yeah.
And I walk away, right?
Sometimes the only way I can get it to stop is just go, hey, do you need a hug? Because I need a hug. Because I'm not feeling good right now in this moment. Yeah. And sometimes she'll go with it. Or I'll go, you need to go in the living room because I'm very mad and I don't want to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
And then a couple minutes later, she'll come back into the room and she'll give me a hug out of nowhere because she feels bad still.
I tried the hug thing.
I know.
I said, would you like a hug? I think you're not doing really good right now. Would you like a hug? And she said, no, mommy gives me hugs.
So
I said, cool.
I can't.
All right, cool.
I just can't win.
Can I have my chair back at least? Nope, I guess I'm eating dinner upstairs.
So
It's just the way it is.
I can't win. I feel like I can't win,
Yeah.
but I'm trying.
I think you're winning, and I think that it's not going to be like this for very much longer.
No, but I was really close to quitting yesterday. I was like, nope, I'm out of here.
Quitting the job or quitting the family?
Quitting the job. Like, it's just too hard sometimes. I just don't like it.
Yeah, it's rough.
Anyways, what day is it?
It is Sunday.
Oh boy.
I try to this is how this is the week how the week's been going. I tried to play a board game today, and I quit. I quit playing on the third. No, we didn't even finish the first turn of the game.
Are you kidding?
Nope. The
It
first
took you
round.
that long to set up and to do all the rules, and then you still didn't finish.
We didn't finish the first round of
man.
up to 5 rounds because Cameron was like, how do you do this again? I'm like, well, I said this a couple times already, but you go like this. And then I go, do you want to do your second action? And he goes, I can't think of anything, even though it's all printed on the card. And I was like, I don't have the patience for this right now. We have to stop.
Okay, well, here's another momming moment. I tried to teach him how to take pills, because
but that's hard,
I changed his vitamins.
That's
so
hard. I had a hard time with it when I was a kid.
he has to swallow pills versus just chewables.
Yeah.
And he was having like a terrible time. He just couldn't get it.
Well, if
So
you
he
get
was
in your
already
head
kind
that
of
it's going to
upset.
choke you,
Yeah, but it's
then
a tiny little pill.
But then your throat kind of like betrays you. It
Yeah.
won't do what you want it to do.
Yeah.
And it's, those pills aren't tiny. Those are kind of
Okay,
beefy pills.
I
And so
know.
they are scary.
I know. I just don't remember learning it myself, so I don't know.
It's hard to teach, right? It's
These
like tying your shoes.
Yeah, these things you take for granted, and then you have these little people or these young people that you now have to teach that, and you're like, I don't know, just swallow it.
And we can't put it in jelly because they're gel caps. And so it's not like with aspirin you could, you know what you could do? You could just
Put 'em
off
in
the
a-
top of my head, you could break the gel cap open and just put the dust in the jelly.
Oh, I guess.
The gel cap is just to get it into your tummy, but you could put it in jelly and get it in his tummy.
I guess, but the
He's got to learn how to swallow, but right now
yeah.
you just also want to get the vitamins in him, right?
yeah.
So maybe try that a couple times.
Yeah, I was gonna try banana, because you could chew banana up really quickly, and then kind of pop a pill in there and then swallow it.
But
See,
that doesn't work. That's what he was not being able to do today. He's afraid that pill's going to go down sideways.
I don't know.
And I
it's
don't
very
blame him
frustrating.
because, in all the time I've been taking those pills, it has gone down sideways a couple of times.
I know. And then it goes from snowing last week to now this week. We're hitting the rains and the thunderstorms, and
Oh, it's full on spring now.
yeah. So it's like outside is gross.
It's muggy.
So there's
yeah.
nowhere to retreat.
Yeah, it's muggy outside, and we had a pretty good thunderstorm this evening.
And I still can't find non-dairy fish food from Ben & Jerry's.
Yeah, but it always takes a couple of weeks once you see it on Instagram to it actually being in Memphis stores.
I guess,
Tennessee
but I
just
wish they
isn't-
would hurry.
We have to be living in like California or New York to get stuff the day that it's
I know.
announced and released.
And then they didn't have my bagels. I don't know. I'm just a mess. I'm just a mess right now.
The bagels thing was a big deal. I don't need them. I don't need those bagels.
Anyways, these.
I got my Age of Steam map project back up and running.
Ooh.
I showed you some of the tiles and stuff that I'm making. I'm doing the whole thing in Figma this time instead of Illustrator. Before I was doing it in Illustrator and Photoshop, like a combination. I was doing some things in Photoshop and some things in Illustrator. So the final product was it was bitmappy, right? So you could only print it at 100%. If you try to print it bigger, it wouldn't work. Not that you would want to print a game board bigger because then it's not functional. But so these maps are 100% vector. So now it's infinitely expandable. You can make a giant printout and paint it on your wall if you wanted to, your favorite map.
That's cool.
But I'm having a lot of fun doing it in Figma because Figma has these tools that allow you to make, it's kind of like a code paradigm. You can make a tile one time and then reuse that tile in all of your maps. And then if you ever go, oh man, that wasn't a great purple that I chose, you can go back to that original tile, change the purple, and it'll fix all the maps without you having to go back and do anything else.
Oh.
Illustrator has something similar, but it doesn't work the same way, and it's not as easy to do. Mm-hmm. And you still you have to manually swap those tiles out. So I'm having fun doing that again. I've got a whole year's worth of maps lined up that I have to build.
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, I'm taking the project from 16 maps to 72 maps.
Oh my goodness.
Because I got
You got more permissions?
I got more permissions from Ted Alspach of Bezier Games, which actually Bezier is basically what a pen tool does, is it makes a Bezier curve.
Oh.
So that's what his company's named after. Fun fact there for anybody who cares.
Cool.
All right. Do you have...
Oh, I have one question first before we go on. So I have a dilemma.
Yes.
It came out this week that McDonald's and KFC and I think there's a couple other ones. Pizza Hut and Taco Bell. They came out and they're partnering with Beyond Meat, which is a meat substitute. It tastes pretty good, but it's plant-based. So do you think that we should support these corporations like McDonald's, and Nestle is doing like a vegan, non-dairy Kit Kat too? Oh. Do we support, do we just buy those things and don't worry about what those corporations have done for decades? Or do we boycott it altogether? Yes or no?
Yes or no. That's it. I can't expand.
No, you can expand. I'm just saying. Because I don't know. I'm conflicted.
Yeah, this is kind of like art versus artist, right? But in a different way, because the corporations aren't making art. They're not making those kinds of artistic decisions. They're evil to begin with, right? Because that's what I don't think you can really be a corporation and not do
some kind of evil.
Not do some kind of evil. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that yes, you do support them because, while you can make the argument that they're following the money, and so they're not really doing, McDonald's specifically is not really doing this because they care about veganism or the planet or animal cruelty.
Yeah.
But they're doing it because they can see that a lot of people are paying for vegan options, right? So they're following the money, right? Because they can see how well Beyond Meat and Impossible are selling.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we want a piece of that pie.
Right.
But if you don't purchase them, if every vegan says, well, I'm going to boycott McDonald's because they're evil and I don't care if they're making vegan stuff. McDonald's will go, oh, I guess we were right about killing animals. Let's double down on that, right? Not to coin a KFC sandwich phrase, but let's double down on our meat production, right? But if you go in there and you say, okay, well, I don't like McDonald's, but I want McDonald's to make the right choice when it comes to fast food. I personally am of the mind that fake meat is at a level now that you could, without saying anything to anybody, switch out every single burger patty and chicken patty for some form of fake equivalent.
Substitutes, yeah.
And nobody would ever know. Nobody would ever know because they just wouldn't, right? They taste too much like the real thing now.
Yeah.
There's even fake eggs that taste like real eggs.
Yeah, just
right?
egg. It's
made
great.
out of beans.
Yeah.
So I think that if we're going to have those kinds of restaurants, and those products aren't any healthier for you than, I mean, they're healthier for you than real meat, but they're not you're still going to have a 700 calorie Whopper if it's got Impossible in it versus beef in it, right?
Right.
Because the bun and the mayonnaise and the all of the other stuff isn't being changed out. That's another thing. Just a quick aside: vegans had to be careful because Burger King's had the Impossible Whopper for a while. The Whopper is not a vegan sandwich.
No.
The Impossible Patty is, but if you want it to be vegan or as close as possible, you have to say no cheese and you have to say no mayonnaise.
Yeah. You're going to have to say that at McDonald's now too with this.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Because nobody's going to use Vegenaise and like, you know, the cool vegan cheeses there are now, right? Because it's the meat part that people are, and which is great for vegetarians who eat dairy or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, I do think you do. I think you support it. I'm a big believer in the vote with your wallet, right? And we want these fast food restaurants to have these vegan options, right? So that people, you know, just if you got to go out to lunch with your buddies, you don't have to pick some weird place that has vegan
or
and
not
regular
eat at all.
options or not eat
or
at all.
Or just have the French fries.
Yeah, you can go to McDonald's now and you can get, you know, hey, no mayonnaise, no cheese, and you get a Big Mac or whatever with Impossible meat.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to feel bad, right? You don't have to, or any of that stuff. But if we don't do it, if we don't buy those things, they're going to say, oh, well, these aren't selling well, and they'll stop selling those things.
Right. So it's kind of like Angel season 5, where you just have to, you know, you understand that the corporation's going to be evil, so you might as well
see what you can do to fix it.
You might want to bend it to your will rather than the opposite. And any time where there's less animals being hurt, that's a plus.
Yeah, and
because
to be
that's
clear,
where the money is.
Right. I'm a full ethical vegan, right? Like I don't eat any kind of animal products, like not even honey, right? Even though I don't know how much I agree on the honey thing, but that's just me wanting to eat honey.
Yeah, because you know the truth of it,
right? But I don't eat honey.
Yeah. But
I also don't necessarily believe that it's possible to get all 7 billion people on the planet to agree to just eat vegan, right? And when I say vegan, I don't mean Oreos and French fries. I mean, you know, vegetables and whole foods all the time that just don't come from an animal,
right?
That don't participate in the cruelty of killing and raping and, you know, these factory farm things, right? But I think if people want to eat meat, sure, but you got to prepare yourself.
And by prepare, you mean?
The whole thing from the beginning. You got to raise the animal. You got to look that animal in the eyes every day, feeding it, raising it, and getting it to the point where you're going to slaughter and butcher and eat that animal. And I guarantee there are a lot of people that would do it, but I guarantee
there are people that are doing it.
I'm saying if you had to do it all yourself.
Oh, I get it.
I'm not talking about the current state of agriculture. But I know that there's a lot of people who eat meat and go, I'll never eat vegan meat ever, man. Meat's all the way for me, who would not be able to do the actual process of slaughtering that animal.
Yeah.
And so I think that would be a good deterrent. But even if we did that, right? If we said, okay, well, if you want meat, you have to do it yourself, we would still be producing a lot less meat on this planet. And meat's a big problem for the planet, not just from the aspect of cruelty to animals, but also from the aspect of, you know, methane gases and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And what it's doing to the planet Earth.
And what it's doing to your bodies and stuff.
Right, but that's...
I know, but it's
I can't say I'm pro-choice and then also tell people, shame for eating a burger. Right,
I get what you're saying.
But they're ruining the planet, which then does affect me and everybody else,
I get it.
Right?
Okay.
What they do to themselves, fuck it, do whatever you want to do to yourself. You're not hurting anybody else, right? It's going to be a real hard way to stop somebody from hurting themselves. I know from experience, right?
Yeah.
But when you start affecting everybody else with your behavior, that's when we can start having that conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get too far down this rabbit hole because I'm not
a question.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't consider myself a preachy vegan, right? Like I don't go around and be like, oh, shame, you shouldn't be eating a burger. You know what happens to those? Like if somebody wants to talk to me about it and they want to learn more, I'll give them the whole scoop. But I'm not the kind of person who goes around and tries to shame people, right? Because it's not my business.
Yeah.
But I do wish that more people would eat less meat, right?
Yeah.
Because if you stopped eating meat 1 day a week, right? That reduces the amount of meat that's being produced. If everybody just stopped 1 day a week, it reduces the amount of meat. So it's a good start. Let's go. Keep going.
Yeah.
You know, and I think veganism basically has a bad branding, right? Kind of like climate change, right? people go, climate's not changing, or what was
global warming.
Global warming. The planet's not getting warmer. I'm very cold over here. It's just, you know, people argue in bad faith, and veganism has that bad branding too, where like, you know, black bean burgers or veggie burgers were terrible for a very long time.
Yeah.
You know, Beyond Meat's not as good as Impossible in terms of like matching.
But it's like,
it's still close.
It's leagues ahead of the garden burger that, you know.
That's just a bunch of vegetables mashed up with some black beans, right?
Yeah, because no one really knows how to cook it. Like it's one of those things that you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, but you've been putting a serving of Impossible grounds into my zucchini spaghetti. And I like it better than regular spaghetti.
Yeah.
Right?
I think you just have to have
kelp seasoning on the top.
Yeah.
You nooch.
You just have to have an open mind. It's not all tofu and beans anymore.
For me though, I really do like tofu. I liked tofu since way before I was vegan.
I know, but not everyone. I'm not a tofu person. I don't like it. I don't usually eat it.
Yeah.
If I don't have to.
Is the texture for you?
Yeah, and you know, once you have one bad experience with tofu, either cooking it or eating it, you go, no thanks.
It gets harder to, because it can be slimy. It can be gross. But I don't cook it bad. I cook it top notch.
I know.
But you will never try the tofu I make.
I mean, I have. I'm just, it's not my jam.
Yeah.
But just to have an open mind about some things, you go, well, it doesn't look exactly, just take a bite. It's okay.
Yeah.
Or just try one of these new fast food burger or whatever.
I haven't had any cake since November, but I want to say the way that you make vegan cake, I think the cakes are better.
Yeah, because there's a lot of replacements. There's a lot of substitutions you can make. You just need to, okay, I'm making a cake, so this specific substitution is best for cakes.
Yep.
Or this substitution is best for cookies.
Yep.
And now with Just Egg that's made from mung bean, you can make everything with it. So it's even yellow like eggs, like whipped eggs.
Yeah. The weird thing is when it's in the bottle, it smells
like mung beans.
But once you cook it up, it smells like eggs and tastes like eggs.
And
it's
looks
really
like
the texture. Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird.
But I think it's amazing.
Yeah, they're tasty.
Where I get confused is the whole like, okay, you've been terrible for decades, but now you're doing a non-dairy Kit Kat. I get a little conflicted.
Well, what has Nestle done? I'm not aware of Nestle's terribleness.
I think it's the palm.
I mean, other than just being a crazy.
I don't know specifics, but I think it's the palm oil thing and
palm oil
deforestation, and then there was something about child labor or
come on,
like monkey labor. I don't know exactly, but it's just
they were hiring the monkeys.
Not hiring monkeys, just like.
Forcing monkeys to like pick palm oil and stuff?
To like pick cacao beans or something. It's something weird. I'll look it up, but it's
like chimpanzees and like orangutans.
Not like big apes, but like, smaller monkeys that they can go higher up in the trees, but they keep them on leashes and in terrible cages and stuff. It's awful.
Real?
Yes.
Oh, now I can't have a Kit Kat.
Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's Nestle specifically, but...
Oh, so now you're telling me stuff that you don't even...
There's these, it's rumor for that thing, but I know that monkey labor exists somewhere.
How?
I don't know. I didn't really look into it. Here's the thing. When I know that an animal's being forced to do something for a human being so that they can make money, I don't really look into it. I just go, oh my God, that's terrible. And then
shouldn't you look into make sure it's true though, at least?
Okay. So yes, obviously you know that it's true. There's video and, photos and stuff. But once you know that it's true, my anxiety won't let me I won't be able to sleep if I know that there's poor little monkeys.
Yeah. Yeah. You have a hard time with that kind of stuff like that.
The imagery... just for lack of a better word, it just destroys me internally because I feel very connected to animals and I can't imagine making an animal hurt. And I know there's people out there that feel like animals don't have feelings and they don't feel pain and then they don't communicate like we do, but I do. And that's hard for me to separate that. And I always have. I just got into the mode of this is what you do when you eat turkey meat, and you eat chicken. Like, that's just what you do, because that's how you feed your people.
Yeah.
And now there's such great substitutes that when you do want, a little bit of chicken, quote unquote, flavoring or whatever on something, there's Sweet Earth strips for that.
Right.
That are plant-based, made from whatever. It's just, it's so nice. And I applaud the old school vegans that were just like, I'm good with my salad and my sprouts and my peas. But
yeah, but that's really good stuff too. Like,
hell yeah, it is. But not everyone wants that.
I prefer it. If I'm being honest with you, like, I think I prefer the whole food options over like the replacements at this point.
And also you have to get into it for a good couple of days of just that.
Yeah.
And then you'll just start to feel better.
Yeah.
And
but
sometimes
I do like to have those replacements in my meals.
Yeah.
Like, you don't put them in everything that I eat, but I do like to have some eggies and cauliflower hash browns. I like those things too. But you just don't give me like a whole bag of French fries, right? You give me like a couple of like spinach bites, and then, a bowl of vegetables and beans and stuff. I think that's the way to go.
I'm just very thankful that there are options, and that
Me too. I'm thankful for that too.
Are, like, even Ben and Jerry's, like they do
it's bad
dairy.
Timing with the fish food,
right?
though.
It is. Yeah, right. It is. Okay, so
It's my favorite. It's my favorite flavor, and now they're making a non-dairy one right after I decided I'm not eating that stuff anymore.
I know, but they do a dairy line as well, and so then you go, well, I'm just going to buy the hell out of this non-dairy, and they do have a lot more like flavors and stuff now. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, it's selling well.
Yeah.
Because I think people who aren't even vegans are buying these things as well.
Yeah, because a lot of humans are lactose intolerant in some way, shape, or form.
Or have some sort of a gluten allergy, which also veganism helps too.
Yeah, because we're not, what was his name? James Aspie. He says, because we're not cows. We're not baby cows. We don't need to be drinking cow milk.
Yeah.
Because we're not baby cows.
No, I agree with that.
So
I think it's weird that we still eat animals.
I know.
Like, I get, like, at a point in our history, that was the best bioavailable source of several things.
Yeah.
But
it's just turned into such a profit thing.
Yeah, agriculture has advanced to a point where you do not need meat in your diet anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't need it.
Yeah. I think we need to take better care of ourselves and each other and
the planet. Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Star Trek future.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
No, you didn't
derail our thing, but it's pretty big news because McDonald's has said that they wouldn't do a plant-based items because they didn't see any profit in it. And now they're changing their tune because they are wrong. Exactly.
Taco Bell, you said Taco Bell's my favorite.
So
I can't eat Taco Bell, but Taco Bell is.
It was like a few months ago, Taco Bell took off potatoes from their menu. And,
oh no!
And that's a plant-based staple is potatoes, and you can veganize a burrito pretty quickly with beans and potatoes and guac. That's a good source. But then they took them off their menu, and people got so upset and wrote letters and emails, and so now they come out and they're like, okay, well, we'll do even more then. Because people were boycotting because they took off potatoes. I'm telling you, it's not just a few people.
Vegans sometimes don't want to cook too.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So do you have a quote of the week, and then we'll get into our thing-a-ling of the week?
Yes. Let me see here. The quote of the week is, okay.
You don't just say the quote, and then we'll talk about where it's from.
Okay. All right. Mo, the first week here you said, ma'am, will you help me hang my shower drapes? I don't know which to be offended by more, you calling me ma'am or you calling them shower drapes. Zoe, what would you call them? Mo, curtains, Zoe, they're curtains.
I love that.
So we are, of course, talking about the show
Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist.
Yes. And it's an NBC show, and it is very cute. I like it a lot because I have never seen a show like it.
It is incredible because we all know how much I like musicals.
And redheads.
Okay. It's not a musical per se, but it is a musical show, right? Mm-hmm. So it's more like you have your very specific musicals where like everything is sung. Mm-hmm. And then you have your musicals where there's acting in between. And this is more of that side of the spectrum. It's kind of like, I made this comparison the other day. It's sort of like Glee, but I think that kind of does it a disservice as well, because Glee was cheesy and they did the songs like out of nowhere, and everybody was like, oh, we're doing a dance number now, cool.
Yeah.
Whereas the conceit of this show is that Zoe, the lead character, has developed a power that allows her to hear people's innermost thoughts in song and performance.
Yeah.
But the people don't realize they're doing it.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's really an interesting way to do it, first of all. And then secondly, the performances are so heartfelt, unlike Glee, where Glee was very like poppy all the time. And once in a while you would get a really emotional ballad out of somebody. Mm-hmm. But in Zoe's, it's like every song has meaning and emotion behind it.
Yeah.
And several times I've ended in tears on that show because of the performances.
Okay, so 2 things.
Yeah.
1, do you want me to read the description that it says?
For the show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that one of the 2 things?
Yeah. And then 2, every episode I've cried. Every single one of them.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, that's true.
Okay.
For me as
so
well.
So here's the synopsis. After an unusual event, whip-smart computer Cody Zoe Clark magically begins to hear people's innermost wants and desires through popular songs. Suddenly, strangers, friends, coworkers, and family are unknowingly singing their feelings just to her. At first, Zoe questions her own sanity, but after some guidance from Mo, her musically attuned neighbor, and making a breakthrough with her ailing father, Zoe soon realizes this unwanted curse may be just an amazing and wonderful gift, as she now connects with the world like never before.
Yeah, just that.
She calls them heart songs and then she.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She usually she kind of like Ghost Whisper. She kind of knows things that they don't want to reveal.
Yeah.
And then she helps them.
Oh, that is kind of like Ghost Whisperer too. I forgot about that.
And I loved Ghost Whisperer. I love Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
You love Jennifer Love Hewitt more than most men love Jennifer Love Hewitt.
She's just very genuine.
Yeah.
And you can tell she's kind even through her acting.
Yeah, I think well, who knows? But she does come
not.
across as like she would be a kind person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Zoe Clark is played by Jane Levy. Mm-hmm. And then her next door neighbor is played by Alex Newell.
Who is from Glee.
The
last
he
2
is amazing.
seasons. I have the biggest crush on that dude. He is so beautiful, and his singing is like, what?
Yeah.
Where is that even coming from? Mm-hmm. So talented.
Yeah.
So talented. I said this the other day because you guys all thought that we were watching the show, or that I was watching the show because of Zoe. And I was like, I think there's somebody more adorable on the show. And you guys are like, who? And I'm like, Mo.
And then her coworker or former coworker / on again, off again, maybe love interest, Max.
No, he's her best friend, right?
Best friend, yeah. Is played by Skylar Astin. Well, he's so many things to her.
Oh, and some people would remember that he is from one of my top 5 movies of all time, Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lauren Graham is on the first season.
Oh, she hasn't been in the second season, huh?
No. And then
from Gilmore Girls.
Her other coworker / possible love interest is Simon. He's played by John Clarence Stewart. And
what else has he been in? Because I'm
not sure.
I've never seen him in anything else, I don't think.
And then her parents are played by Mary Steenburgen.
Ted Danson's wife.
Yes, who's very sweet. I like her.
Back to the Future 3.
And Okay. And her dad is played by Peter Gallagher.
Well,
and
is
he has
Peter-
a terminal illness in this show.
That's a spoiler though, but is he in season 2? Has he been in season 2?
No, not as of.
So he was a season 1 actor too. Then.
Yeah. But all the things that a woman in a high-tech industry goes through.
Yeah.
And she's got to find that balance.
Right.
And then she's got to be a daughter, and she's got to be a brother, and then she's got to be
a sister.
a sister. She has a brother. She's got to be a sister.
Yep.
And then she's also
trying to figure out who she loves.
Yeah, like love interest, and it's just kind of overwhelming too much. And then she has this amazing superpower that sometimes is not welcoming.
Right.
And sometimes it gets her into crazy predicaments.
Yeah.
But she's learning, I think, in season 2, she's learning to relax a bit and accept it and be like, okay, I can take this on too, because
I think it's a really good vehicle though, because they can really do whatever song
the songs are all great too.
And it doesn't have to feel weird and out of place because it's only happening in her head.
Yeah.
And the way that they make you know whether it's in her head or happening for real is when it's in her head, there's music
behind it.
But when there's no music, this person's singing for real. So there's this kind of like unspoken way to tell what's happening. Is it real or not real?
And usually the people singing have this like interpretive dance going on.
Yeah, that's really beautiful too.
And sometimes it's just one person singing. Yeah. And then so the only people that know that she has this superpower is her best friend Max and Mo.
And Mo, yeah.
But everyone...
Wait, Simon doesn't know?
Simon does not know.
Oh, we haven't told Simon yet.
No.
That makes sense though. You probably wouldn't want to tell too many people.
No. Because, she wanted him to like her, I think.
Yeah. It's cool though, because the way that they write it is they make it so that her power, so to speak, helps her with situations that she would normally be lost in, right? Because she gets to actually hear the real truth of what the people she's interacting with are up against, which is a little invasive, but she never uses it to invade.
Right. And she's always very respectful. She just goes, Simon, is there anything you want to tell me?
Yeah. She also doesn't have control over it. We should mention that.
Yeah. It just
happens.
And one of the episodes in season 2 is she starts having bad dreams.
Where she's singing in the dream.
She's the one singing.
Yeah.
And she just can't stop it. And they're kind of freaking her out a bit.
Yeah.
But I think that's an amazing, I wish that was an actual superpower you could get if they were handing out superpowers.
Would you trade that for the superpower from the 4400?
No. Okay. So the superpower from 4400 is the most amazing superpower ever. I've done a lot of research on superpowers, and this is the one that I would want if I could have any superpower.
Right.
Okay. So I forget what her name was. Alana?
Yeah.
Sounds right.
That sounds right.
She was the wife / love interest of one of the main dudes.
Yes.
She was a 4400. And so when they came back, she had this amazing superpower where she could just close her eyes and then I don't even know what it really is. She could manifest herself.
No, they were mind vacations.
But I'm like, she could just within seconds in real life, she could spend a lifetime or months or weeks or a day or hours doing something else or just going about her life in her own head.
Right.
Like her own imaginary time.
Yep.
But then if she touched somebody, they could both go, or they could all three or all of them could go together.
Yep.
So one of the episodes where they phew, and they open their eyes and that was a great vacation. Oh, a month in Tahiti, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait.
Yeah.
That's my superpower. Forget laser eyes.
Yep.
Forget X-ray vision. Forget super strength. I want to just close my eyes for 3 seconds and be missing and just be somewhere else for a month in my head.
Yeah, no, it's one of the most inventive and cool superpowers that doesn't really have a practical application, and it's kind of like a security risk because while you're in this vacation, your body is just kind of there. But it's such a cool idea.
But
it's much better than the superpower I dream about having.
oh, yeah.
For sure. It's a great superpower.
What is it?
I have a reoccurring dream where I'm in a Walmart shopping, but this Walmart has everything. It's not just a Walmart. It has everything in the world that you could think of to buy in there. Just even stuff that think of like it's like every kind of store possible in one, but it's a Walmart. And I can fly. But I can only fly 3 inches off the ground like a hovercraft. and I can't go very fast like a hovercraft.
Okay, that is a terrible superpower.
It's an awful superpower.
No, I would not trade.
It's a fun dream, though.
I would not trade listening to people's heart songs. However, I think it's a very beautiful superpower to have because then...
It'd be your second choice.
Yes, I think so, because then I could know what that other person is thinking / feeling / really wants to say but can't really say it and don't know how to say it. And the only way that music can tell you.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, I don't know if you do this, but sometimes I do this where I'll put on music to tell you something or to tell the kids something.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I didn't know you were doing that.
Or in the car. I'll play only I'll play our song or.
Oh, you communicate through music. I didn't even realize that. That's really beautiful.
Because sometimes you can't find the words to say stuff.
I know. I feel like you
can say stuff that I can't say.
Yeah, I feel like you are one of those kind of people who thinks a lot of things you don't say. Because
I don't know how to say the words.
Yeah.
And I've been accused of being blunt. So if I say what I'm really thinking, it's going to come out. It's going to come out wrong. I can barely say a couple of sentences without flubbing a word or something.
And that just makes it harder too, right? Like I pressure you when you get quiet. I'm like, hey, talk to me here. Talk to me.
Talk to me, goose.
Talk to me. But you don't want to.
No, it's scary.
But I don't, because I don't have a problem talking all the time and thinking quick on my feet. It's frustrating to me. And so I'm like, come on, talk to me. But I didn't. Yeah, that's really interesting. I didn't know you were doing that. Now I'm going to pay really close attention.
No, I've been found out.
That's really beautiful.
Anyways, but she can hear it in real life. So she can hear her mother sing songs about what she's going through and what she's feeling.
Right.
And I think that would be such a great thing to know. Because I think some people in our lives, they stay strong and they don't tell everyone their situation or their problems because it's theirs to carry. It's not like Liam or Bryce or Cameron will come up to me and ask me if I'm okay. And I'll say, yeah, I'm fine. You know me. And they'll go, are you sure?
Yeah.
And part of me wants to say stuff. And sometimes I do if it's not too harsh. But most of the time it's just, no, I'm okay.
But then there's the other.
I'm their mom. I'm supposed to be their guide. They're not supposed to worry about me.
Yeah, but I think it's okay for at a certain point when they've reached a certain age for them to then kind of worry about you.
Yeah. I know that in the car I was very upset about the bagels not being right. But to Liam, I'm like, I don't know. I'm just really hung up on this bagel thing. And Bryce out of nowhere is like, yeah, bagel time is sacred. And Liam's like, yeah, bagel time is a very good time for you.
Well, it's one of those things, right? It's like it becomes a routine
and a treat
like for me. Okay, here's a good example. When the snow thing hit, we ran out of apples. And every day at 10 a.m. and every day at 7:30 p.m., you make me a half of an apple with paleo almond butter and a half a serving of dark chocolate. And I have gotten so used to that. I look forward.
Yeah.
Every morning I'm like, 10 o'clock is just around the corner. And every evening I'm like, here it comes. And we ran out of apples. And so we decided to do dates with peanut butter on them.
Yeah.
Now, dates with peanut butter on them, or almond butter, it's the same almond butter.
Yeah.
Dates with almond butter on them are incredible. But it wasn't the fucking same.
Yeah.
Right? And it wasn't, I was like, oh, dates with almond butter. God damn it. Even though still delicious.
Yeah.
And still a treat. And I still had the dark chocolate. I was just like, these aren't apples with peanut butter. I need apples. Right?
Yeah.
So I get it. Like there's, you start in your head, you get this routine. And even if you have something that's, suitable, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get that. But the part that hurts me and is hard for me is you're like, they don't have the right bagels here. And I'm like, there's literally nothing we can do. And so I can't fix it. And I'm like, wow. And then you're like, is there another Whole Foods here?
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm not driving to another state for bagels.
Who the hell is eating jalapeno and cheese bagels?
Oh, that's a very popular flavor.
Okay. Same line of questioning.
Yeah.
Who the hell is raising these people? That's what I want to know. I want to know
Jalapeno.
who are raising these people that eat jalapeno and cheese bagels.
Okay.
And no other kind of bagels.
Have you heard of jalapeno poppers?
Yes.
Okay. That's basically what a jalapeno bagel is. Here's the thing. Jalapenos are very delicious.
I'm fine. Make the jalapeno and cheese bagels, but then put next to it.
They probably did. We got there late this morning.
No. Okay. I'm way too upset about the bagels. I feel
we got there very late this morning, later than we normally do, and they probably just only had the jalapeno and cheese left. Also, I don't know if you noticed this, but when we were in the bakery section of the Whole Foods, it was kind of cleaned out.
Yeah.
Which is not normal for us in the morning.
Yeah. I wonder why.
We were there later than normal. We normally get there around 9 a.m. and today we got there like 10:30. We got to go earlier.
You're saying that it's my fault.
No, it's my fault. I woke up late.
The right bagels.
No, it's mine because I woke up late. I'm the one who woke up late.
Anyways, I'm not really mad, but I'm kind of mad.
You're kind of mad about it. It's all right though. It's perfectly fine.
Anyways.
Back to Zoe.
Yes. She's
Do you think she's adorable?
I think she's adorable.
Yeah.
And then the character is very sweet and respectful and kind.
She tries really hard to be a good person.
Yeah. And I just hope and pray that someday I'll have a daughter who is kind and respectful, and she can be loud and fiery and whatever she wants. That's cool with me. I like that fire. But I just want her to be a good person, because if you have the fire and you're an asshole, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's not a great combination. I
don't want to put out her fire. She's going to need that. She's going to want that. Yeah. She's going to rely on that. I'm good with it.
Yeah, I don't
have my own
fire.
But I also just don't want her to be a butthead.
Right. And that's the line we have to try to figure out, right?
So I have to pick my battles severely because, and then also I just try not to antagonize her. If she's already upset, I try to say no words, except for I just agree with her or I repeat what she's saying.
Yeah.
And just try to oh, that's a bummer. Cameron won't play with you? Oh.
Zoe or are we talking about
Sorry,
Fred
I'm
now?
talking about Freddie at this point, but
yeah.
I just want Freddie to be like Zoe.
Yeah, she's
sweet and kind.
Yeah, it's a really good character.
I like that show. I look forward to it.
I love that show. Like the last couple of episodes is when I really realized it. We've been watching it for 2 seasons now, but when we got to episode 6 of season 2, I was like, holy shit, I love this show. Like this is a really great show.
Yeah. I knew way before then.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, I think I knew too because I kept watching it, right? Like I'm the kind of person who's like, if I'm not liking a show, it's like, get out of my life, right?
Yeah.
I don't want.
Oh yeah, you do keep watching it, or you did.
But if I keep watching it, that means I'm liking it. But I realized in the last 5 and 6, I was like, this is a wonderful television program.
Yeah. So I don't know what day it's on, but because we stream it off of Hulu,
right?
But it's coming back March 28th, I think. They're taking their mid-season hiatus right now, so it's a good time to binge it.
Yeah.
It's very, very good. And if you like music and if you like the funny and...
Yeah, it's got a little bit of everything. I think that's a through line for any television show that we've ever really enjoyed, is it's not just one genre, right?
Yeah.
There's comedy, there's drama.
Yeah, there's sadness.
Sadness, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is tragedy.
Tragedy, yeah.
There's, all of those things, and you can really get on board with those characters.
With music.
Yeah, and then you add in that music, right? I watched Glee. I liked Glee.
I like Glee season 1.
With the exception of like all of the bad shit that happened with all those human beings, but I don't like Glee compared to Zoe.
No. Doesn't.
Zoe takes that idea of a musical TV show and makes it actually work.
Yeah.
Without making it cheesy, without making it feel bad or wrong, right?
I think it has everything a TV show to help you escape from your day-to-day, everyday life to where you can watch someone else with their emotions and problems and how they go through life. It takes everything that you need and makes a perfect TV show.
Well, that's what a TV show is supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
It'll help you escape from your regular life.
5 out of 5
stars. And she also has, I want to just point this out. I think this is probably true of Mo as well, but it's part of Mo's character and not so much part of Zoe's character. At least they don't point it out like they do with Mo, is that she dresses super snappy.
Yeah, it's very colorful and
and matching, and like everything works together.
Yeah. And Mo wears these like extravagant
costumes almost.
Yeah, but he dresses like amazingly, and he's got great hair, and he sings like a beautiful angel.
Oh,
he's so talented.
So good, so talented.
He's very talented.
She's very talented too, Zoe, right?
Yeah.
She can sing, which I was surprised because I've seen her in other things, and I would never have clocked her as a good singer.
Even Mary Steenburgen, which you wouldn't think, but she can sing those songs, and she does.
Oh. I don't know the character's name because she's a side character, but the character that's married to Zoe's brother, Alice
Lee.
Is that her real name or
her real name?
Okay. Her character sings a song when her husband decides, this is getting into spoiler territory, but her husband decides he wants to do something. She's against it at first. Then she realizes, oh, this really is a good thing for him. But then she, in front of Zoe, sings, I'll Stand By You.
Oh,
and it was the most, like, I was like, oh my God, that's such a good performance of that song. And I just started, like, tears just started pouring down my face.
Yeah.
Salty streams into my beard forest. And I was like, oh my God, that lady is talented.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I don't take anything away from Alex's performances. When he sings, it's magical every time, and you expect it.
Yeah.
But I was not expecting it out of this lady.
Yeah.
And she belted that song out, and I was like, oh my God, that was wonderful. And that's just what it feels like the whole show, you know?
Yeah.
I love the show. You love the show.
Our kids love the show.
They do. They all watch. It's a kind of a family show. Huh?
Yeah, almost.
Yeah. And that's another thing. It can be a family show because they had a sexual encounter between Max and Zoe, but the way they handled it was so beautiful, and it wasn't like gratuitous. There was no like. It
wasn't trashy. It wasn't.
I didn't feel uncomfortable with my 14-year-old son watching with us, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't trashy at all. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a wonderful show. I love it. You love it. I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
The Lou and Me podcast is a Matthias Source production. The song is No Carpets by the New Forevers. Produced and edited by Moose. Hosted by Lou and me.
Thanks for listening.